Welcome to Fortune Cookies. First things first. Gregopedia gave me his cold. That's why I look like this. Not looking so good. I'm trying some different lighting too, so if y'all can let me know in the comments how the lighting is working. I know I had my camera was having some trouble picking up the ring lights, so hopefully Santapedia will get me a nice big crazy ring light for Christmas or Hanukkah or one of the holidays. So welcome to Fortune Cookies. I'm ordinarily not sick, but I have a cold today, so I'm going to try and crank out as many videos for the week for you guys. We will start out the week with Brittney Griner. There's a little bit going on with her on the 25th. I'm still going to have on Wednesday night, my Wednesday night live, unless I take a complete and total nosedive. Wednesday nights, it's readings for you guys. All you have to do is make a donation. Let me know what you want me to read on, and I will do it. Look at this. The light's still, I got to say, I think it's spirit. Other people are getting orbs. I just get my cameras like flashing. So welcome, spirit. Welcome. So what would you do with my selenite? So Friday night, we're going to have Julie Tarot on my channel. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all then. But let's get started with Brittney Griner. So those of you that don't know what is going on with her, she is an NBA, WBA, the Women's Basketball Association. She is a professional ball player. She traveled to Russia for a game and got busted with a residue of some CBD marijuana oil in a vape pen. Russia is a zero tolerance country. They are also extraordinarily not happy about having foreigners come into their country with drugs. So despite this not being a trafficking situation, they really did go pretty hardcore. There's our sloppy shuffle. Fortune Cookies Tarot, home in the sloppy shuffle. Oh, by the way, those of you that are repeat offenders, welcome back. Thanks so much for supporting my channel. If you are a new viewer, this is not my best work because I feel crappy, but thank you for being here. So let's just take a look, and we're going to see what, how she's doing, what's going on with her. On the 25th, October 25th, today is the 23rd here in the United States. It is almost 5 o'clock on Sunday. They are going to hear her appeal, and she's currently sentenced to a 9-year sentence. Actually, I'm going to have to go get that sloppy shuffle. She's sentenced to a 9-year sentence in Russia in a work camp, which sounds terrible. Does not, I'm sure it's not the Soviet gulag of days of yore, but I don't imagine that it's very nice. So let's see, first things first, how that appeal is going to go. There was an effort to negotiate for the release of her and a Marine named Paul Whelan. They were going to trade both of them for a pretty notorious, crazy, what am I trying to say? Russian criminal. And I believe he was an arms dealer, like an explosive specialist, had quite a sheet of accomplishments or nasty deeds, however you look at it. But there was some effort to negotiate to do an exchange, a 2-for-1, and apparently a source close to Putin said that, just this is not high on their priorities right now, doing, negotiations for prison exchange. So let's see, how is the 25th going to go? How will her appeal be received? We have our 6 of Wands in reverse, 7 of Wands upright, 2 of Cups in reverse, Hierophant, authority. I don't think they're going to do too much. I don't think we're going to have much movement on this. So we'll do Heart of the Matter. This really gives us kind of some more messaging. Favorable. So, all right. So I don't think the appeal itself is going to be favorable. I don't think they're going to say, okay, it's time served, go home. I don't think we're going to see that. I think there is, when we have this 7 of Wands, this is balancing and trying to come to terms with another party in some cases. In some cases, it's with numerous parties. I think there's going to be some more negotiation, but that is going to be a bit of a stickier spot. I don't think that we're going to be able to get to a solid negotiation. I think this is going to go on for a while. Ultimately, I think the judge is going to be the one that has to make this decision. I think the two opposing parties that are trying to negotiate. The judge is not. I don't think the judge is the deciding factor. I don't think it's like her attorneys are appealing to a single person. I think it's her attorney. It's almost like a mediation thing. I'll have to look this up because I don't know if that's how it works. I'm not an expert on the judicial system in modern day Russia. So as much as I love Russian history and Russian culture, I'm just not an expert on the judicial system, fortunately. I would not want to be in jail in Russia. I really don't. There's one thing about Russian people is that they are no joke. When they make a decision, they make a decision. There's no wishy-washy. There's no, let's try and do this. No quid pro quo or anything like that. Maybe there is a little quid pro quo, quid pro quo, but it's not in the way that we do it. It's not in the way of negotiation. Laws are laws. There's no inflexibility with their laws over there. So, and honestly, the things that have been done since Putin has been in power has kind of put, and you guys can get mad at me. I know there's a lot of shit going on with them right now. He put a lot of things in Russia back on the rails. They're a huge railroad culture. So that's funny what I just said there. He did put the country back on rails. So we can go back and forth about how, their GDP is not great and they really don't have anything. But, truth, he did reestablish the national sentiment of the country. It infused the country with a bit more national pride and tried to bring it back. So, but part of that is that there's a much heavier hand in law and rules. So, it's one of, curiously enough, it's one of the things historically in Russia, the Tsar was called the Little Father, and he would appeal to God. That was, basically the back and forth on this is the Tsar was the conduit to God. I'm sorry, I had my microphone pretty far away. I hope all this sound is getting picked up. So the Tsar was the conduit to God, and people would pray to the Tsar, and the Tsar would carry on their prayers and thoughts and wishes to the Almighty. So, but nonetheless, so part of that is having a much more forceful kind of leadership in the country. Keep in mind, at one point it was 1/7 of the world's landmass. So many cultures, many different dialects. So if you have a lot of kids, you got to run a tight ship. So if you have a lot of people, you have to run a tight ship as well. So it does look like there will be some kind of modification of the sentencing. I don't think they're going to make the sentencing go away, but I do think there's going to be a modification of it. I think we're going to see something a little bit different. I don't think this is for political purposes. I think this is going to be strictly because of the law that was broken was not terrible in the scheme of things. Again, it wasn't trafficking. It wasn't something like that. It was allegedly a mistake. Allegedly, it was an oversight during the packing process. So we'll see. And it does look like that's favorable. Does look like it's favorable to her side. So that is encouraging. I'll be paying attention on the 25th and checking my work. All you all can do the same. So I just said, will they make her? My next question was, will they make her serve the whole 9 years? Let's take a look at that. Oof. So this is almost like time served in a Russian prison is like dog years. Like if you serve one, it's really like 7. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to be laughing at anyone's misfortune. But that's how the cards are reading. So I think and tarot is not terrific at telling time. Our wands, our days, our cups are I'm sorry. Let me start over. I totally So we have days, weeks, months, and years. Our pentacles are years, our cups are months, our wands are weeks, our swords are days. That's how they go that fast. Swords, wands, cups, pentacles. I will try and perk up for the next video, I promise. So if we're looking at this page of pentacles, now the pages can either represent one, the first of the court cards, or they can represent 11 because it's the 11th card in the pips. So we can look at it either way. 11 doesn't make any sense because we're not going to, she's already sentenced to 9 years. I'm saying this looks like maybe a year. Then we have the wands in reverse. So possibly 1 year, 5 to 10 weeks. I should be writing this down. Actually, you people can remember it for me on YouTube. There's going to be a certain amount of trust on our part that may be a little bit foolish. So whoever's negotiating this should probably just cross all the T's, dot all the I's, make sure that the whole thing is in on the up and up, make sure there's no holes in the plan. Then we have 8 of Pentacles. So it should be like, hey, 8 of Pentacles, like this is like a probationary period. If she was here in the United States, I would say this is like they're giving her probation. Like maybe she can't come back for 8 years. I think she's going to get a lifetime ban. So I think she's going to be not allowed back into the country at all. And then the World in reverse. This is our hard stop. This is our not returning. But I think there's something shadier going on. No matter what they tell her, if they tell her this is going to be less time, again, even if it is 1 year and 5 to 10 weeks, it's going to feel like the whole sentence. There's something behind here that's not good. It's not good. Whatever they tell her, this is going to be like serious hard time. And if she does get a reduction, those that are in there are going to make it feel like longer. So something to keep in mind. And I under the surface, no matter what, she's going to be disappointed. This is going to be a disappointment to have to serve out any of the term. So heavy stuff, heavy stuff. So I know I've said this before. I've been very critical of, I actually had a friend who tried to bring some product into the country from another country into the United States and got in trouble for it. Did a lot of time. And it's not a really good idea. It's just not. There's way too many ways to catch you if you're, just being a person just walking into, a plane, it's just way too many ways to catch you. So I know my ex-husband, they when they were traveling with the bands that he managed, like that was one of the things when they were going into zero tolerance countries, like Japan is one of them, Russia is another one. They're very, very careful about checking the equipment, checking everybody, making sure that nobody screwed up and jammed up the tour. So totally makes sense to, be smart about that. If you're spending millions of dollars, you need to be smart. So how is her sentence going to go? What for whatever? Well, let's see how she is right now. There was some media about her team, not her basketball team, but her legal team, offering to send her a basketball, and she refused. She said it's just too painful. So she doesn't even feel like playing right now. So how is she doing right now? Let's just see how she's doing right now. Oh, yeah, she's not having a good time. But her head is kind of in the wrong spot. She doesn't think that there's help is on the way. She doesn't think the cavalry is on the way. So part of the problem here, and I can't blame her because she's in a foreign country. I don't know how much Russian she speaks. Russian is a hard language to learn. It's the grammar is not like ours at all. It's a completely different alphabet. All of you know that the Cyrillic, you see it all over the place. It's a hard language to communicate. And the colloquialisms are very different from ours, which I do want to say, like the Russian curses are the best in the world. They are descriptive and they are amazing. So you can look some of them up. I actually have a Russian slang and curse word dictionary that I got when I was studying. And it's pretty awesome. I'm not going to say any of them on here. You guys can look them up or you can email me and ask me about them. But what she's doing right now is she feels very sorry for herself. She feels like this is a grave injustice. And that they just aren't seeing what she did. There is some level of regret, but she really does think that this was a grave injustice and completely ridiculous. And, she is looking with the scope of being an American where this really would have been like a non-issue. If she'd gotten pulled over in the car, it would have been a non-issue. If she'd gotten tried to get onto a flight, that would have been a non-issue. They just sort of thrown it on the side and like, no big deal, NBD. So there is like this poor little me kind of thing. She doesn't see her way out of this and she's very, very depressed. So I know she has a wife back here. I don't know if she's had any contact with her wife, if she's allowed to have contact. I don't know what the circumstances are. But she's absolutely brokenhearted and she really is not seeing any way out of this. So on the 25th, if they do tell her that the sentence is going to be reduced, hopefully we're going to see this spirit lift a little bit. She's losing a lot of faith in her legal team, just because the way things move in Russia is not the way they move here. It is not the United States. It is Russia. Things move much more slowly. Not to mention that they have bigger fish to fry right now. There's a lot of other things going on in the country that need their attention, or that are commanding their attention. Let's put it that way. So, this business, she just does not really believe in her team anymore. She's like, oh, you guys haven't done anything for me. I'm not getting my hopes up. There's this level of, depression that's happening there. And she does want to speak out more. I think keeping quiet about that while she's still there is a good idea. Not like, hey, I'm going to write a book about my experience here, which she absolutely could. So we can look at that too. But she's really struggling to balance the depression with the hopefulness. She's trying not to be too hopeful. She's just kind of resigned herself to being there and being depressed about it. So, blah, blah, blah. So, how is her term going to go? Do 3 cards on this. It's a little long reading. I didn't know I was going to go so long on this. Oof. Oh boy. Okay, so it's bad, good. So looks like while she's there, it's not going to go very well. She will be very depressed. She is going to be looking at the mistakes that she's made at some point. And then we get into, I get to go home. So will she write a book when she comes back about her experience? No, I don't think so. I think that's a no, because she's just going to want to live her best life and she's just going to go about her business. So that is what I have to say about that. So we will have to see what is going to happen on the 25th with the appeal. Hopefully that's going to go well. I don't want to see anybody, locked up for any length of time. It's a terrible thing. So, but I will check in on this on the 25th too, I think. So I know I'm not as sparky as usual. I'm gonna have a cup of tea and then do another video. So hope you're all having a great start to your week. I'm clearly not. Greg feels better though. Gregopedia feels better. That's all well and good. So Ella and I seem to be having a great time with this nice cold. So again, thank you all for being here. It's my favorite part of the day, even though I'm sick. And I'll be taking a lot of Mucinex over the next few days, drinking a lot of water. Remember to hydrate, people. Remember to hydrate. So thank you. And again, if you guys want a reading from me, I have a bunch of readings this week and next weekend. I'm booked totally solid, but you can schedule down below. After Halloween, I usually loosen up a little bit. I think I have some pockets of time that are available through Thanksgiving. I'll probably have some gift certificates if you all want to buy them for Christmas gifts. I'll do a Christmas video. So hopefully we'll get all of this done. So thank you so much. I hope you're having a great day.